Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, it doesn't make any difference what time it is. Siempre es un gran momento. It's always a great time para aprender español, ¿verdad? Thanks for coming on back and tuning in. This is going to be our last lesson on the subjunctive for a little bit. The other lessons upcoming are going to be filling maybe a gap here or there and review. All right, decir and pedir are very special verbs. Decir means to say or to tell, and pedir means to ask for somebody to do something. There's another verb to ask, that's preguntar. When you're seeking information, that's the verb preguntar. I'm going to ask him what day is the game. Le voy a preguntar qué día es el partido. That's preguntar. This is asking for something, asking for an object, right? Le voy a pedir dinero. I'm going to ask him for money. But with the subjunctive followed by que, you're asking someone to do something. So here, we're telling someone to do something and we're asking someone to do something. Okay? That's very important that you remember that. Very specific. When you tell someone to do something, it's a subjunctive sentence, right? When you ask someone to do something, it's a subjunctive sentence. We know that the subjunctive is a tow vehicle, the trailer hitch, and the trailer. But in addition to that, we're going to add a fourth step. We're going to take these pronouns here and use one of the pronouns in front. So let's see what we've got. These are called indirect object pronouns. Not important. They are me, te, le, nos, and les. These are the ones that you're going to use with decir and pedir. Then we have the verb decir in the present tense. We know it's a go verb. We know it's an e to I stem changing verb. And we know in the we form it doesn't stem change. Okay? Decir's got a lot of stuff going on in the present tense. Digo, dices, dice, decimos, dicen. Let's take a look at pedir in the present tense. It's an e to I stem changing verb. All but nosotros. Pido, pides, pide, pedimos, piden. Then we have the verb decir in the preterite. In the preterite, it is a J verb. Dije, dijiste, dijo, dijimos, dijeron. What about pedir? Pedir in the preterite, it's an E to I stem changing verb, but the E to I only happens in the el, ella, and the ellos, ella. So it's pedí, pediste, pidió, pedimos, pidieron. So those are the two verbs we're using. We're using decir and pedir in the present tense. Then we're going to use decir and pedir in the preterite. And take a peek here. Que is our trailer hitch. We know that. These are going to be our tow vehicles. This is a trailer hitch. And then any verb that you end up with is going to be your verb in the subjunctive, the trailer. Now, if we're talking in the present, we're going to use the present subjunctive, verb number 8. If we're talking in the past, preterite, we're going to use verb number 9, the past subjunctive. All right, here we go with some examples. I tell him to go to school every morning. Todas las mañanas le digo que vaya a la escuela. They tell me to be a good person. My parents tell me to be a good person. Mis padres me dicen que sea una buena persona. I tell him to clean up his room. Le digo que limpie su cuarto. Our teacher tells us to read a lot. Nuestro maestro nos dice que leamos mucho. Okay? Let's go with pedir. I always ask him to bring his friends. Siempre le pido que traiga a sus amigos. They always ask me to take my dog. Siempre me piden que lleve a mi perro. I always ask her to pay attention. Siempre le pido que ponga atención. My mom always asks me to take the trash out. Mi mamá siempre me pide que saque, that's a car garzar, saque, Q-U-E, saque la basura. My dad asks me to wash the cars. Mi papá me pide que lave los carros. I ask my friends to play sports with me. Les pido a mis amigos que jueguen. That's a cargars are. Jueguen. Jueguen. Que jueguen deportes conmigo. She asks me to go to the movies with her. Me pide que vaya al cine con ella. Let's go into the past. I told him to come to the party. Le dije que, past subjunctive. Vinieron, change that O to A, vinieron, drop the N and you got it. I told him to come to the party. Le dije que viniera a la fiesta. My parents told me to study. Mis padres me dijeron que estudiara. They told us to be there early. Nos dijeron que estar. Estuviéramos allí temprano. I told him to help. Le dije que ayudara. Why did you tell me not to go? ¿Por qué me dijiste que no fuera? ¿Por qué me dijiste que no fuera? Doesn't that sound beautiful? The Mona Lisa is your subjunctive. Why did you tell me not to go? ¿Por qué me dijiste que no fuera? You got to be on the top of your game, A game, if you're going to be able to pop out a sentence like that. ¿Por qué me dijiste que no fuera? Okay, let's go down here. Pedir. I asked her to bring money. Le pedí que, J-verb, trajera dinero. She asked me to help. Me pidió que ayudara. I asked them to bring their books. Les pedí que trajeran, J-verb, trajeran sus libros. My mom asked me to help out in the kitchen. Mi mamá me pidió que ayudara en la cocina. My dad told me to go to college. Well, let's talk about that for a moment. We have the present tense and we have the preterite. You can use the imperfect. I ran out of space. If you had the imperfect for this, it would be decía, decías, decía, decíamos, decían. And this would be pedía, pedías, pedía, pedíamos, pedían. Both of them, you would just put the IA, right? It's the IA ending for ER and IR verbs in the imperfect. So decir, you would take decía, decías, decía, decíamos, decían. No stem change. Pedir, pedía, pedías, pedía, pedíamos, pedían. In the imperfect, the regular. So if you go in the imperfect, decir and pedir are regular. Decía, pedía. So if I wanted to say my dad told me to go to college, it's probably not one time. It's probably all the time in the past. My dad always would tell me to go to college. Mi papá siempre me, then I would take this and put the IA with the accent. Mi papá siempre me decía que fuera a la universidad. He'd always tell me to go to college. Okay? My mom would always ask me to help. Mi mamá siempre me pedía que ayudara. The preterite is for a one-time thing. The imperfect is for an all the time, multiple times, ongoing in the past. Okay? So let's take a look at this again. Decir and pedir in the subjunctive. It means to tell someone to do something and to ask someone to do something. You could take your commands, tell them to help. Dile que ayude. Dile que ayude. Here's the lay. Here's the lay. And we're using D, so it's still two steps, but the lay, it's one word, right? Dile. Dile que ayude. Tell them to help. Tell them to come to the party. Diles que vengan a la fiesta. Ask her to help. What is the ella form of the present tense of pedir? Well, we know it's right here. Pide. That's also your positive to command. So if I wanted to say ask them to help, I would put les on the end of pide and go back 3 vowels and put an accent. Pídeles que ayuden. So the possibilities are endless. We're showing you the two very common ways of using decir and pedir in the subjunctive. So what do we want you to know? We certainly want you to know the conjugations of decir and pedir in the present tense. We want you to know the conjugation of decir and pedir in the preterite. We want you to be aware of your 5 pronouns, me, te, le, nos, and les. We want you to know that when we use a pronoun in front, it's a 4-step process, not a 3-step process. K is going to be the next to last step, and the last step will be whatever verb it is that you are using in the subjunctive. So again, I tell her to study would be le digo que estudie. I told her to study, le dije que estudiara. I always told her to study, siempre le decía que estudiara. And for that matter, the future tense would work. I will tell him to study, le diré que estudie. But we wanted to get you off the board here so you can start using decir and pedir in the present, in the preterite. We'll take a more deep look, a deeper dive, if you will, with decir que and pedir que upcoming. This is just the starter, just the beginner. This is an hors d'oeuvre to get you going to use decir and pedir in the subjunctive. Okay? So you need to know your pronouns, and you need to know how to tell someone to do something or how to ask someone to do something. That's right here. You have to know how to say that you told someone to do something or you asked someone to do something, a one-time thing. We'll get into the future. We'll get into the imperfect. We'll get into all of that a little bit later. This is our starter. This is our first lesson with decir and pedir in the subjunctive. Okay? That's it for now. Hasta la próxima lección. Tengan un gran día. Gracias por todo. Cuídense mucho.